I'm on to something with this, and it's bugging me. So here I am at 10 o'clock at night, going live when I don't normally do it. But I'm really fascinated by this history of Jesus thing. And I just want to know more. And I figure if I'm going to read about it, I might as well share the reading with y'all. But, okay, right? Like it's bugging me. And it's keeping me distracted. So let's just get right back into it. So first and foremost, just read the first line on the Wikipedia page. It's completely locked. Is that Jesus, referred to as this, that, and the other, was a first century Jewish preacher and religious leader in the Roman province of Judea. He was a Jewish preacher. So let's keep going. According to the Christian tradition, as preserved in the Gospels and the Acts of the Apostles, Jesus was circumcised at 8 days old, was baptized by John the Baptist as a young adult, and after 40 days and nights of fasting in the wilderness, began his own ministry. He was an itinerant teacher who interpreted the law of God with divine authority and was often referred to as rabbi. Jesus often debated with his fellow Jews on how to best follow God, engaging in healings, taught in parables, and gathered followers, among whom 12 were appointed as his apostles. It's pretty crazy to think about it. Like, you just have to think about the life that existed back then. Taught in parables. The parables of Jesus are found in the synoptic gospels and some of the non-canonical gospels. They form approximately 1/3 of his recorded teachings. Christians place great emphasis on these parables, which they generally regard as the words of Jesus. Jesus' parables are seemingly simple and memorable stories, often with imagery, and each and all teach a lesson in daily life. Scholars have commented that although these parables seem simple, the messages they convey are deep and central to the teachings of Jesus. Christian authors view them not as merely similitudes that serve a purpose of illustration, but as an internal analogies in which nature becomes a witness for the spiritual world. Fuck it, we'll go back. We'll come back to that. He was arrested in Jerusalem and tried by Jewish authorities, handed over to the Roman government, and crucified on the order of Pontius Pilate, the Roman prefect of Judea. After his death, his followers became convinced that he rose from the dead, and the community they formed eventually became the early Christian church, that expanded as a worldwide movement. Christian theology includes the beliefs that Jesus was conceived by the Holy Spirit, was born of a virgin named Mary, performed miracles, founded the Christian church, which he didn't. Like, Jesus wasn't walking around talking about Christians. Died by crucifixion as a sacrifice to achieve atonement for sin, rose from the dead on the third day, and ascended into heaven, from where he will return. Commonly, Christians believe Jesus enables people to be reconciled to God. The Nietzsche Creed asserts that Jesus will judge the living and the dead, either before or after their bodily resurrection, an event tied to the second coming of Jesus in Christian eccatology. Eccatology, I guess. The great majority of Christians worship Jesus as the incarnation of God the Son, the second of three persons of the Trinity. The birth of Jesus is celebrated annually, generally on December 25th as Christmas. His crucifixion is honored on Good Friday and his resurrection on Easter Sunday, the world's most widely used calendar era, in which the current year is AD 25, is based on the approximate date of the birth of Jesus. Judaism rejects this belief that Jesus was the awaited Messiah, arguing that he did not fulfill Masonic prophecies, was not lawfully anointed, and was neither divine nor resurrected. In contrast, Jesus in Islam is considered the Messiah and a prophet of God who was sent to the Israelites and will return to earth before the day of judgment. Muslims believe Jesus was born of a virgin, but was born of a virgin, but was neither God nor the Son of God. Then how the fuck was he born of a virgin? Most Muslims do not believe that he was killed or crucified, but that God raised him into heaven while he was still alive. Jesus is often referred to as Bahi and the Druze face, as well as Rastafaris. Okay. People always mix up Jesus and Yahweh. But Yahweh was a dick. Jesus isn't supposed to have been such a dick. Hang on a second. Of course, it doesn't matter if it's day or night. 2,500 subscribers, 1 viewer, 2 likes. Man, I see so many of these people. So many of these truthers out there. And they all push the same narratives. What's up, Craig? You must be special. Oh. I mean, it's just strange. This is all just so strange. It's weird how much of it, like, people are starting to talk about how, Epstein is the reason we had the financial collapse. And it's like, yeah, you'll find videos from me at least 5 years ago, maybe more, telling you the same thing. Exact same thing. Epstein facilitating the what's it called? The financial crisis is old news. He was the guy in charge of Bear Stearns at the time. I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening. What is making everybody catch on, but in such a manufactured, manipulated way? Talking about satanic, and you hear a lot of the satanic stuff. And what's crazier than having a imaginary friend is the imaginary enemy. Like, what are you even thinking? God, she's hot. I really want to see her naked. Your Austrian painter friend? You mean the Jewish guy? I mean, how does it even happen? It's just like Jesus. I mean, it's the same shit. Obviously, Hitler's mom was a Jew, so Hitler was a Jew, and that whole narrative is fake. A typical Jew in Jesus' time had only one name, sometimes followed by a patronymic phrase of the form son of father's name or the person's hometown. Thus, in the New Testament, Jesus is commonly referred to as Jesus of Nazareth. Which again, so are we saying there were just the whole lack of people thing? I have to give my lunch break a lot of credit in his Population Zero video, where he shows that by their own accounts, by the time you get back to like 600, there's nobody. Is this a? Oh, I was wondering, is it chick trans from the Domino's commercials, the big black chick in the pink or whatever? Jesus. Jesus' neighbors in Nazareth referred to him as the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon. Well, Jesus had a big family, huh? The carpenter's son, or Joseph's son, in the Gospel of John, the disciple Philip refers to him as Jesus, son of Joseph from Nazareth. That's a lot. Again, why this? To me, this takes away from the credibility. The English name Jesus is a rendering of Joshua, Hebrew or Aramaic, Romanized Yeshua, later Yehoshua, Yahshua, and later Yeshua, which means Yahweh saves. YHWH. YHWH is Yahweh, right? The tetragrammation is the four-letter Hebrew, the name of God in the Hebrew Bible. The four Hebrew letters written and read from right to left are Yad, He, Vev, and He. Yad, He, Vev, He. The name may be derived from a verb that means to be, to exist, to cause, to become, or to come to pass. While there is no consensus about the structure and the etymology of the name, the form Yahweh, though the vocalization in Christian tradition, on modernity, Christianity is the only Abrahamic religion in which tetragrammation is freely and openly pronounced. The books of the Torah and the rest of the Hebrew Bible, except Esther, Ecclesiolati, I don't know. Songs are certainly contain this Hebrew name. Observant Jews and those who follow Talmudic Jewish traditions do not pronounce that, nor do they read aloud proposed transcription forms such as Yahweh or Jehovah. Instead, they replace it with a different term, whether in addressing or referring to the God of Israel. Common substitutions in Hebrew are Adonai, Elohim, literally gods, but translated as singular and meaning gods. Hashem, the name in everyday speech. Wow. I'm seeing more and more YouTube's channels similar to MLB. More and more similar to MLB. Oh, my lunch break. Right. Right. Because what's a great way to get a YouTube channel that gets lots of views, and essentially you end up getting paid from YouTube? Because you can talk about all those conspiracy secrets, tell all those secrets about the ancient world, and you don't get censored. You don't get guyed. Anyway, the Gospel of Matthew asserts the etymological, oh God, I hate that word, etymological difference of Jesus' name explicitly in the prophecy of the angel to Joseph about his birth. You will call his name Jesus. For he will save his people from their sins. Jesus Christ. Since the first century, Christians have commonly referred to Jesus as Jesus Christ. The word Christ was a title of office, the Christ, not a given name. It derives from the Greek Christos, a translation of the Hebrew Mashinika, meaning anointed, and is usually transliterated into English as Messiah. In biblical Judaism, sacred oil was used to anoint certain exponentially holy people and objects as part of their religious investiture. Christians of the time designated Jesus as the Christ because they believed him to be the Messiah whose arrival is prophesied in the Hebrew Bible and Old Testament. In post-biblical usage, Christ became viewed as a name, one part of Jesus Christ. The term Christian, meaning a follower of Christ, the term Christian, meaning a follower of Christ, has been in use since the first century. No, it hasn't. Praise Jeebus and the Holy Bubble. Yeah, no shit. Life and teachings in the New Testament. Here is a 3rd century Greek papyrus of the Gospel of Luke. This is a picture of it. I mean, seriously. Why would you believe that? Why would you believe this? It's so stupid. It's just so stupid. I mean, seriously, if you actually look at it, it looks like it says thin kitty, 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 thin kitty, kitty, Nathan, kitty, kitty, Nathan, thin kitty, like it looks like shit. It looks like it's not really weird. Like there's, you know, I know it's obviously a different language, but it's pretty simple. It's pretty fucking silly. Sure is a good thing they wrote it on this shit, huh? The four canonical Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are the foremost sources for the life and message of Jesus. But other parts of the New Testament also include references to key episodes in his life, such as the Last Supper in 1 Corinthians 11:23-6. Acts of the Apostles refers to Jesus' early ministry and its anticipation by John the Baptist. Acts 1:1-11 says more about the ascension of Jesus than the canonical Gospels do. In the undisputed Pauline letters, which were written earlier than the Gospels, Jesus' words or instructions are cited several times. These are the undisputed Pauline letters. You gonna give that back? What? You lost in your fucking game. I swear, it's ridiculous. You didn't. Okay, whatever. Act like you haven't been playing your game all night. Some early Christian groups had separate descriptions of Jesus' life and teachings that are not in the New Testament. These include the Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Peter, Gospel of Judas, the apocryphon of Jesus, and many other apocryphal writings. Most scholars conclude that these were written much later and are less reliable accounts than the canonical Gospels. What is this undisputed Pauline letters? This is just bugging me. So when I click on the undisputed Pauline letters, this shit pops up. What the fuck is this? Possible dates of Pauline epistles. Captivity letters, pastoral letters. 31 to 36 AD, conversion of Paul. Beginning of the Greek manuscript of the Pauline epistles written in 1517. You know, this is supposedly Greek, right? I wish I knew somebody that actually could read Greek, especially ancient Greek, because I'm sure it's different. Although this is 1500, so is it ancient?
It would still be old Greek.
Pauline epistles. Epistles of Paul, or the letters of Paul, are the 13 books of the New Testament attributed to Paul the Apostle, although the authorship of some is in dispute. Among the epistles are some of the earliest extant Christian documents. They provide an insight into the beliefs and controversies of early Christianity. As part of the canon of the New Testament, they are the foundational text for both Christian theology and ethics. Most scholars believe that Paul actually wrote 7 of the 13 Pauline epistles: Galatians, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Philemon, Philippines, and 1 Thessalonians. While 3 of the epistles in Paul's name are widely seen as pseudepigraphic, Timothy, 2 Timothy, and Titus. Ooh, 1 Timothy. I know how you ladies like 1 Timothy. Whether Paul wrote the three other epistles in his name, Second Colossians, Ephesians, and Colossians, is widely debated. These later six epistles are believed by some scholars to have come from followers writing in his name, using material from Paul's surviving letters and letters written by him that no longer survive. The epistles of the Hebrews, although it does not bear his name, was traditionally considered Pauline, although Rome questioned its authorship. So there's like the one narrative, and then there's the Jewish narrative that sort of just gets put into it, and it's supposed to be, you're supposed to just believe it, but as much as the other shit doesn't really stand up to scrutiny, the Hebrew versions definitely don't.
I think you're being rather harsh and critical.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. That's what it shows you here. Is it's like it seems like it's a later edition. But from the 16th century onwards, opinion steadily moved against Pauline authorship, and few scholars now ascribe it to Paul, mostly because it does not read like any of his other epistles in style and content, and because the epistle does not indicate that Paul is the author, unlike the others. So exactly what I just said. It's like they slide it in there, and they be like, yeah, no, that's part of it. And people are like, that doesn't fucking... I don't remember him being like, the Hebrews are the best over and over again. The Epistle to the Hebrews. Often referred to as Hebrews, is one of the books of the Old Testament. Hebrews 12:1a on Papyrus, circa 300 AD. Sure. Like, how do you know any of this? Seriously. How many people could actually look at that and be like, oh no, that does say that? But even then, how would you know any sort of legitimacy behind it? The text does not mention the name of its author, but was traditionally attributed to Paul, the apostle. Most of the ancient Greek manuscripts, the old Syriac, Peshido, and some of the old Latin manuscripts place the epistles to the Hebrews among Paul's letters. However, doubt on Pauline authorship in the Roman Church is reported by Eusebius. Modern biblical scholarship considers its authorship unknown, with Pauline authorship mostly rejected. A minority view Hebrews as written in deliberate imitation of the style of Paul, with some contending it was authored by Apollos or Priscilla and Aquila.
Make sure you tip the girl.
That's nice, man. That's a good boss. You know what? I'm done. I tried. I was exhausted. I tried. And 3 viewers, it is what it is. You guys have yourself a wonderful night. We'll talk about Jesus tomorrow. Goodbye. Pedophiles, kill yourself.